Hello, this is Bridget Brown with Divine Essentials. Alright, so recently someone purchased my past life oracle, and when they did, they had asked me if I had a video about it, and I didn't. Like, I do, I have a lot of videos where I've used it, but I didn't have one specifically, like, where I explain it. And then I had went and looked at that moment. I was like, let me go look because I wasn't sure, because I do have some that I'm like blah 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 about new decks that I've brought out. And when I looked, there was a person that did a walkthrough with the deck that they had purchased of mine, of the past life oracle, and I listened to it and I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, I should definitely do that. And I had it written down and I kept like, I'm gonna do that, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. And then today, my niece, last week I made her a jar of like a fairy jar that I made with a key, and it's got like the fairy wings and the stuff's all inside of there, and there's like a whole thing with it, crystals and cool little stuff, and like a fairy necklace and a bracelet that was actually, it was a matching bracelet. I have the other matching bracelet here, but it was for my mother before she passed away. A woman that I was friends with at the time had made us matching bracelets, and then my mother passed away, and so I've had both of them sitting here this whole time. So I gave her that, which was like amethyst and like little, cubic zirconias, and then the necklace was like pink and purple, and then the stones inside of the thing were purple and pinks, and a gold key with pink wings that's like hanging in there. And I gave her that, and then all week long I'm like, I feel like I need to give her this deck, I feel like I need to give her this deck, I feel like I need, and then finally I just put it in my bag, and I actually brought it and gave it to her today. And I was trying to like kind of just briefly explain, how to make it, how to use your deck, right? Because she's a kid and she's still new to all of that, and she's never had anything. And when I opened it up to like show her what I meant, I was like, oh my god, because I actually remembered afterwards, it was a woman that sent me like a whole box of stuff, who's always been like, she's always been someone that's like sent me awesome gifts. And but at one point she sent me a bunch of stuff that she didn't want anymore, and that was in there, and it was a fairy oracle, and I think I used it like once or twice, but it's been here, amongst all the other decks. But when I opened it up, on the cards, each one of them had the golden key with the freaking pink wings. And I was like, are you kidding me? That's insane. Like, I had no idea when I'm like putting it in the bag. And even so, because I had planned on making more of those jars. Like, I have a whole thing in my head of like what I want to do with them and all of that. Like, I sent her information like, this is what this fairy does and that's what that fairy does, blah 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 blah. But I have ideas for how other people could utilize them with their children, and I was going to make more. And then when I saw that the deck has the freaking, because I have more of the pink wings and more of the golden keys, I was like, oh my god, maybe I'll get another one of those decks to send out a couple of cards with each one of the jars, so everybody gets their own unique one. But it was just like perfectly crazy to me. And that's just how that stuff is. Like, when we feel something intuitively, we should do it, right? And that's how my decks are. So if you are somebody that purchases any of my decks, I know they don't come with like a book, but I try to make my cards like self-explanatory so that you don't need a book. But I was thinking about maybe doing like a digital version for them, for those who don't know anything from, like they don't know. Like, hearing what that girl was saying that day was like, blah, 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 blah. And like, I understand where they're coming from because of the way that I designed the deck. It could make people think that like, oh, well, this is supposed to be like am I supposed to put these into piles? Especially because there's other decks out there like this one, which I got on, I think like Temu or something. I don't even know. I got it very inexpensive, and I guess there's a big book that goes with it. But again, I just got this very inexpensive. Nothing came with it. I'm assuming that it has like some in-depth whatever, because on the back of it, it's like, it's got all these things that it could be connected to, like trauma, like of how things happen in your life, right? And then there's a lot of different ones. So like location, death, your faith, your love, your identity. And I think that I don't know if all of them are different or not. Like, I don't know, but when I do it, I just pull one of the cards like I normally would, And I just intuitively get the messages, like however I feel guided. Like some of them are different on it. Like when you look at it, it's like, you know, like the destruction card has Fool, Destroyer, Helpless, Maiden, and then Saboteur. So like there's bad people, good people, or people who've been harmed by the Saboteur. You know what I mean? And it's like whatever the energy is. So this one's like the beauty one. It's like the town beauty, femme fatale, struggles with appearance, and prostitute. There's a wide range of things on those cards that can be connected, and it's interesting because like, oh, okay, so it does tell you right here. I'm like, what do they mean? So like Russia, like I haven't even really looked at these that much on the backs of them. I did use them a couple of times where I would like include these things here. But I should find out, like I should like watch somebody's reading that like has the book and all of that to figure out like what am I supposed to be doing. But I can understand why people going from something like this or knowing that these things exist and then seeing my deck that has a combination of things in there and feeling like, am I supposed to be like doing this in a certain way? And that's just how a lot of people are anyhow, because you know, there's a lot of like we've been governed by people in the world, right? We got everybody telling us how we're supposed to be doing it and exactly how. But I'm a psychic, intuitive, empath, healer. You know, I go with my instinct. I go with what's coming through. The reason why I made my past life oracle was because the other decks that I had for past lives, a lot of times I wasn't finding like the things that I was often resonating with. Like I know myself and things that I've connected with in my lifetime that I definitely believe are like, this is my first memory as a child. Okay. I remember being underwater. Like it was a recurring dream that I had all the time. I was underwater in a city and there was a dude there with a Triton. But at the time I had no idea. Like I didn't even put two and two together for like the longest time with a lot of the stuff that was in that dream. But it was a recurring dream that I had as a child. And it's like the first thing that I can remember about life is that dream. And having it again and again. And like I've had like significant water issues or water like things that have happened along the way. Like I don't remember this, but apparently I was dropped into my first home. We lived on a pond and I fell off of the dock into the pond, and my cousins were out there with me and had to like pull me up from my diaper because I was just like going down to the bottom. So that happened before I even was online with my consciousness, and then the dream happened all the time. And then there was a time that my dad brought me to a beach that is kind of like well known in our area, and I don't know where the hell he went, but he went somewhere, and I was down in the thing, and there's like a big seawall and there's big cement ramps on either side of where I was, and the water started rising, and I was like running back and forth in here because I was panicked. I was a little girl, and he had to come down and like jump over the wall and grab me, and he was like laughing. He thought it was funny, but like to me it wasn't funny. I thought I was going to die, you know. It was kind of scary, but yeah, everybody has their things, right? So I feel like a lot of times when I do readings for people, I pick up a lot of stuff that I also resonate with. Like a lot of the people who come to me are coming to me for a reason, because we are, you know, connected on a soul level. And I find that a lot of people who have been in Atlantis, or who have been from the stars, who have maybe traveled to ancient Egypt and were teachers in the mystery schools as high priest and high priestesses, I find that a lot of that comes through. And I wasn't really finding that, you know, I wasn't finding these types of things. Like I had the one from Doreen Virtue where they mention Atlantis in Egypt, but not in the way, I don't know, I just wanted to make it the way that I did. And like having the ocean soul, having other stuff like the scribe, like, and I'm going to show you. So first of all, I have like ways that people could die, right? Like you may have been on a ship and you could have been shipwrecked, right? It's interesting. Like again, I see how like the water is a theme. I'm not trying right now. Like I've got the ocean soul, Atlantis, ships. It's like, this is how you might die. And you could have been here in Atlantis. And you may be an ocean soul, which is not necessarily a place, a destination, or a way of dying. It's just more so an essence of who you are, which these are cards that like, we got the ocean soul, we have a scribe, somebody that would have been a writer, somebody that was good you know, through communicating with the words, putting them on paper, you know, spirit of the book. This is a different deck, but it's right there. And it's like confirmation. And that's how I am too. I read like that. Like, I'm not like separate. Right now I'm separating these so that I can kind of like give you a better idea of what things were connected to what, or like the essence of different energies. But I wasn't like, I wasn't intending that people would have to do it that way, you know? So like Atlantis, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, you know, those are there. And then I had the black and white cards, and I think that might have thrown people off too. But the black and white cards kind of just like came about because I have a lot of people that come for twin flame. Or I did, you know, that's like what my main thing over there for the longest time was people who were either dealing with karmic relationships or their twin flame, and because of that, a lot of them were dealing with anger. And like, this can happen anyways. Like, when I try to do is like make it make sense in a way that can be vice versa. Like, it does, like, you don't have to pull one from each of these things. You might not get any of one thing in a reading, but it doesn't matter. You can still get messages that matter for those people and kind of extract what you need from it, right? Like, if someone died in Atlantis, we're going to assume maybe they were like, you know, in the fall of Atlantis. Maybe not, but if they were in the fall of Atlantis, you know, if like Atlantis pops up, we could probably, you know, get the idea that there's some trauma way back then. And may have involved ships. Maybe they tried to leave on a ship, but they didn't get far enough away before the thing overtook them, right? And if that's the case, they could be harboring anger from that lifetime because there were people during that time that knew what was coming. They knew what was coming, and they didn't warn the other people. They just took off, right? And then I also have the theme of like, if there's one, there's the other, right? So like, there's wealthy and poor, and then there's like the fighter and the peacemaker. And it's not for all of them, but there's a lot of that in here. There's like a theme of like having the vice versa type of energy. And again, it's just intuitive for me. It just kind of like makes sense, but they doesn't have to be read that way. And again, like slave. So somebody may have been a poor slave, you know, so they may get both of those energies that come through, or they may be poor and a slave in this lifetime because in their last lifetime they were very wealthy and they were very well off and they had everything that they needed to manifest and to do what they wanted to do. And so in this lifetime it may be more of a struggle so that they can learn the vastness that there is to learn throughout living, right? And yeah, it's interesting. So I had the fighter right here, and I look down and here's the peacemaker. So these are the two opposites for me, right? And even when we read it, it's like peacemaker, fighter. So this one's avoiding conflict, afraid of physical conflict. It may have been physically murdered, or, you know, somebody may have got them physically. And the fighter is an aggressive, ready to fight, defensive, and they were the, you know, aggressor or the killer in a fight. So those are opposing energies. You may have like a karmic relationship in this world that you deal with somebody that's very like, you know, the opposite maybe, or you may be just like, I don't want to ever fight, like I can't imagine, like there's people out there that really like worry about like, I don't want to ever get punched in the face, like very, very afraid of that happening, and that may be because it happened already, right? So again, these things just give us indications of like stuff that is, it's only going to come through if it's relevant, right? If somebody comes to get a reading from us, it's most likely because they need a message, and the cards are going to know what that message is. We don't have to like make it be weird and break it down like into little tiny things. But again, like royalty, so royalty could come through with the wealthy, right? And that might make sense, but it doesn't have to. And even like for me, like the royalty, I always get the energy with royalty of being like connected to the Lyrans. And a lot of times when I use this deck, I will use like my soul purpose deck and my starseed oracle, because those ones have, you know, like more of the story. So it's like, again, I was just adding stuff for me. So right there, right, we got the twin souls with the dolphins from my starseed oracle. I might have, like, these ones might come out a lot together to be like, oh, Atlantis, you had dolphin energy, you know, if that makes sense. You might have a twin flame that, or a karmic relationship that you're meant to marry in this lifetime, or you were married in another lifetime. You might have a big family on a soul level that you're connecting here to heal your karma with. You might have contracts with people from another life. And yeah, you're probably the high priestess vibing at the highest quotient of light. And that would make sense for somebody that was in Atlantis. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that when you left Atlantis, you may have ended up in ancient Egypt to teach in the mystery schools, and that's where this energy comes from, is these mystery wisdom teachings that you still hold within yourself, yeah, but you still have karma. Okay, so there's 2 Orion cards in the deck, and they both mention karma, and this one's about healing the soul patterns and the contracts, and this one's about the logical karmic contracts that we carry. Right? So if they both come through with this one, I might say that you might need to work on your masculine energy and figuring out on a more logical level how you can help yourself to heal so that you don't carry on this family lineage of karma and pain and things that have been really hindering you from coming into unity with yourself, into that infinite love that is infinite with all of us. We're here to unify duality, and a lot of us struggle with that because we live in a world of duality where there's a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. But with the dolphin consciousness, they're wanting you to know that you're fully supported and loved, and you can release through emotions, and it may be good for you to connect with that energy of Atlantis and to remember that the divine healing is always available to you, and that everything that you need is within you. You have those mystery teachings still, like, ready and open for you to connect with. And look at that, the cosmic ocean, travel to deeper depths with the shadow transformation. So again, I'm not even really trying right now, but do you see how these are lining together? We have the ocean soul, we have the cosmic ocean, we have Atlantis, we had the high priest, like, it's like, that's what happens. But even if I don't have this deck, I don't need to have this deck with this. But the reason why I made these is because those are the themes that I see come through for my people all the time. And it was just helpful to have a thing to put the words to. So I'm an energy healer. That was my first thing. I was an energy healer. I read energy. And, I'm a Reiki master teacher, new paradigm master teacher. Those are the things that, like, started me off on my path. So the way that I work, that's my gift. That's my main goal, is to help people to heal their energy, to remember who they are. And look, your lived experiences are unique and meaningful. Share your stories with others. Memory maker. I just said, remember who you are. That's an important aspect, is to remember who you are through your energy, through your essence, through your soul. And you have the eyes to see beyond the illusions. And a lot of us do, but a lot of times we will doubt them because we live in a freaking weird world that pushes us away from that. And again, with the book here, Wisdom Writer, your words hold wisdom and light codes, share them with the world. And I get the spirit of the book, get the scribe. And again, this is a deck that I just had up on the thing there from Mystic Moon. So, like, but it fits in the theme. There's a theme coming through. There's a theme here. So whoever's coming to this just to hear, just know that your frequencies are shifting, and you decode and connect with the higher dimensional beings as a divine channel. All of us are these. We are all a channel, no matter what. Like, no matter if you're like, okay, I gotta, like, channel, like right now I'm channeling the energy to tell you about this deck and how to use it the best way so you can channel. But, as a high priestess, you gotta trust your inner knowing and share your sacred feminine essence with the world. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman. A lot of the intuitive energy on that level is feminine energy. It's softer, it's more gentle, it's intuitive, it's inward, it's feminine flowing. It's just like that energy, right? And then the logical side of things, the more masculine side of things, like getting things done, stuff like that, it's on the masculine. But we both can embody that. Like, we don't have to let one go. But if I say, want to go take a shower, that's me channeling the energy that is necessary for that. Or if I'm going to go do laundry, I'm going to channel the energy necessary to do that. I'm going to drive the car, I'm going to channel the energy necessary. Like, I'm constantly channeling, okay? And look at that. Akashic Records is another book, all right? The big library of your information, your wisdom. And this says new chapter, development, unfinished business. So a lot of us do have unfinished business, or we wouldn't be here. There's a reason what we're here. You're here to overcome and grow. You are here to enjoy yourself. You are here to love, and to enjoy your life freely. You're not here to be, like, bogged down in your book. This automatic writing. This crazy. Channel through writing, decode frequency, deliver messages and teachings through spirit. So whoever is coming to this right now, if you're a divine feminine or divine masculine, they might want you to start writing more. I feel like this is, like, I know for myself, ringing in the ear right now. I know I'm supposed to be writing more and also sharing what I'm writing, because, like, I have massive amounts of stuff that I write, and I mark, like, the things that I want to, like, share with people, but I don't always do it. Sometimes I even do record it, and then I just never end up getting around to sharing it. but like I'm constantly writing, and I know they want me to write a book right now, but like that type of stuff is gonna keep coming up. It's gonna keep popping up until I do it. So it doesn't matter if I'm doing a past life, or if I'm doing, you know, a soul purpose, or I'm doing just a general, or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's gonna keep coming up until I'm like, okay, let me pay attention and get that done, right? Also, as a healer, I know I'm a healer, and I have the freedom to explore and do whatever I want. We got the dolphins here. You are free to do what you choose, and that's the thing. We have options. We have unlimited options all the time, and that's my big thing. I don't ever want to like limit people writing. Okay, I don't ever want to limit people in the way that they read their cards. I don't ever want to limit people in the way that they connect or what they feel guided to do as a person on the planet. Like you could be somebody that is a healer and writes, or you could be somebody that uses your words in a different way. Like maybe you write them down, but when you share them with others, you're speaking it. Like you could, because people write their speeches. People do all different types of stuff, right? Like I wrote things down before I channeled. Like I got the messages. I knew, because I've made over 20 something decks, right? So when I was making like this deck, I had them all written down. Like I knew what ones I wanted to put in there, and then I found the right images, and then I put the words together with the images. And this was like the second deck that I made, so it's not like the most, you know, beautiful or the fanciest. And then over time, it's just like I would have like more, right? And like trust your feelings and dreams to guide your career path. So sometimes we might just need to write for ourselves. Maybe it's nothing that we need to share with others. Maybe we just need to write down our business plan or our ideas of what we want to be doing or what we like to do. There's a thing that I've had people do. Yeah, I got career change here. There's a thing that I've had people do in the past where I'm like, write down like the 20 things that you're the best at, 20 things that you love to do, and 20 things that like other people are always coming to you or like perceive you as being good at. And it's like, and then you go back through the list after, and then you just like go free flow. You just let it go. And then afterwards you go through the list and you like number them in the order of like, 20 being the least favorite, number 1 being the best. And then you find through all of those, what is the most of all of those things that is like your number 1? And it may be like, well, people love when I cook for them, and I love to bake, and you know what I mean? Something like that. And then okay, well, I could bake, boopity bop. And no matter what it is, you usually find like a theme. Like people come to me for this, and I really like that, and I'm pretty good at doing this. Whatever it is, you usually will find a theme. And if you're meant to have some sort of change within your career, in the way that you communicate, the way that you think, the way that you connect with your community, you would do that, by trusting. And look at 12th house dreams. This one said, like, your dreams. This says surrender dreams, endings, old age. So some poetry is here too. And that's how we achieve our legacy. That's how we figure out who we're meant to be. So this is my celestial oracle. And this one I did so that people could learn like the basics of astrology, because I remember when I first heard about astrology, it was hard for me. I was like, oh my god, wow. It used to sound so like, what? Like the 4th house and then blah 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 blah, and the moon and the blah blah blah. I'm like, what? But this one says, you heal, inspire, teach, and entertain with the words you write. I write a lot of poems. I write a lot of things. A lot of times, like, it even happens when I speak sometimes. Like, I can't turn off the rhyming aspect of stuff. Sometimes when I'm channeling to do, like, a chord cutting, it will start rhyming through the whole thing. I can't really control it. Like, it's weird. But it happens, right? So sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's just things that I write that feel powerful, that need to be said for me. Sometimes it's for others. Sometimes I do automatic writing for people. Like they'll come and they'll get an automatic writing for their situation. Like they have the I am presence of the person they're connected with. Send them a letter because maybe they're not communicating to that person, but they want to know what that person's thinking and feeling and wanting and blah, 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 blah. And that's a way for them to do it. And I connect in that way. But I've also done it for the star beings. Like I used to have people come to the fairs that I would go at, and I would do like a couple pages for them about who they were. Like, okay. And it would be like, we are here. We are the emissaries of light, and we are connecting with you to let you know that you are bringing in the essence and the frequency of, you know, the Lyrans, the Avians, the blah, 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 blah. And then it would break it down and let them know the boop, 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 boop. And everybody that ever got it was like, oh my God, about whatever came through it. So I know that it worked, and I know that it resonated, and it made sense for them. And there's no two that was the same. I got writing again here. No two was the same. I've been on the right path. When I'm working with them, when they're working with me, I'm a freaking healer. I'm connected to them. They're the ones that woke me up. And there's infinite options, just like there's infinite options when we do our readings. We just want to call on our protection and, you know, write what needs to come through, whether it's for us or for others. And you can trust your sensitivity to let you know. In your heart's desire, it says the angels are supporting and guiding and protecting you as your dreams become a reality. And then you're becoming more sensitive and need to make those changes accordingly. So sometimes a career change is necessary so that we can go towards the options that make sense for us. It says, consider the career possibilities that are open to you and then make a decision based on your heart's true desires. So yeah, and look, you are free to do what you choose. A lot of people stay stuck in things that they hate. They do stuff that they don't want to do. They're afraid to go pursue something else, or they think that they're going to fail, or that they should just like stick to what they know, or, you know, they block themselves out of stuff, or they don't realize that they actually have a good thing that they're good at. And so reading, research, and education can help you gain confidence and clarity about your career. So what do you think that you would be good at, or what it is that you're interested in? Maybe there's some schooling that's out there, and I do plan on making more stuff. Like, I've been writing down some things that I wanted to, like, this is like the first thing I'm doing right here, but I was going to do some other stuff that would be educational for people about other things, like the intuitive tests. I know people like those, and then like, you know, talking about the different essential oils, because each one is very powerful in its own way, and why we would use that and how we could use that, and then like crystals, colors, numbers, blah blah blah. But you can go learn those things, you know, today, and you can study whatever it is that you're drawn to today. You become a spiritual teacher, or find a spiritual teacher that's already taught those things outwardly. Like energy healing, there's the Moon Key, there's the New Paradigm, there's like all these things that are out there on the channel. The Moon Key is on here. Halcyon Light Healing is on here, and like the activations for those are on my Etsy shop right now. But I'm gonna be setting up a totally. I talked to Gemini, and it was so funny because there's one place that I found that I really liked for like where I could go that's not like gonna be charging $1 million or taking a bunch of fees or changing the rules all the times and making it like so difficult. And I made a video recently for my Patreon people, because a lot of them in there want to do this stuff too. And I was like, hey guys, look at what I found. And I did a whole video talking about this specific place. And I've been looking at it for like a long time. Like I've dibble-dabbled with the idea of it. And then I saw somebody else's website recently, and I was like, can you tell me like what what person they're using to make this website? Because I liked it. And they were like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, is there anybody out there that I could make this with that's like, you know, free or very limited? Like, I don't, because some of them are very expensive just to have a month. And it was like, oh, you could do this. And this would be great because of baba-da-boop-a-da-bop and baba-da-bop. And then I asked it like something else, and it came back with that again. And I was like, it's really weird because I literally have been like, I already have stuff set up with that place. And they just released something recently that's like, free forever, right? So it could be free forever to have this thing, but they take like no, they don't. This one's crazy. It's weird. It's like almost too good to be true, but this kind of confirmed for me that it's not. And then you can have your free thing, right? But it's like if you're only on the free plan, that means you can have one free course, 3 funnels, X amount of this, X amount of that, X amount of this. But what you can do also is you can have those 3 funnels, which basically means like, you know, somebody clicks on a link and it takes them here. And this is like something in that thing that's like a set of stuff that goes with that. Sometimes a funnel has upsells or like downgrade or whatever. But it's for a specific reason, right? So like I could have a funnel that goes to a specific deck, or a funnel that goes to a specific course or whatever. There's 3 of those, and then there's the course, and I could put, you know, one course there, but I can have sub accounts, unlimited sub accounts that have this exact same parameters as the main account. So if I got like the one that you pay like $20 a month for, that's like, you would have unlimited of everything that comes with. But because I get this one, which is free forever, and it comes free with all those things, I would just make a sub account. And then it's and it's better that way too, because it organizes it. So like LC Online Healing could be the free course for this account, and then make a sub account, and it's housed under that. Basically just means that there's a drop down menu that you click through in the back end of stuff. So the drop down would be like, okay, now this is the one for Muneki, but it would be looking all the same to the people. The only thing that's going to be different is like the little the URL, which is what needs to be for every single thing anyways. Like if I was going to just have it all in one, the end of the URL would still have to be different for the Alcyon Line Healing or Muneki or whatever. So it kind of confirms to me, like, this is the best place for you. You should use this one. And that way you don't run into this problem and that problem. And it was like, do you want me to help you do this? And I was like, yeah, sure. But those things are always so excited to get going and, like, start doing whatever it is that you're ready to do. So, yeah. If you're interested, I did make videos about that stuff and other stuff that I've been sharing over there. And any video that you see on my Patreon that you want, for the most part, it's like $3 if you just want one video. If you want to join and access like almost everything in there, it's like $11.11 a month, and then the next one up from that is like $22 a month. It's not a lot of money, you know. And then there are individual ones in there that I like, you know, specifically dive into different topics. And there are girls in there right now and guys in there right now that are interested in making content, but they feel this way or they feel that way or they're blah 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 blah. And I know now like what this one's feeling about and what that one's feeling about. And some of them are like getting over that hump of like, how do I make like how do I get consistent, or what kind of content? And really at this day and age, you're bad, like it's just so easy. So I'm gonna be making some videos for that as well in there. But yeah, energy healing, creative expression, however we feel guided to, we can study. And like everything I'm talking about is available already for free. Like how I learned stuff was literally just Googling and researching way before we had AI, way before anybody was like doing a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now, way before there was massive amounts of videos on all of the topics that there are at this point. And it's like, when there's a will, there's a way. But you just have to will it and try and continue and not expect instant gratification with stuff. But the Lyran energy, those are our ancient ancestors. That's this type of energy, that royal, regal, powerful, wealthy wisdom. That like when you see like the Sphinx, or you see the things in ancient Egypt that are like the half feline, half lion, like this very powerful, regal energy. This energy's been coming through a lot in a crazy ass way. Like, I can't remember what the first thing was, but like I saw, oh, okay, so the other night I had felt something around me, and I was like, bah, 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 which again, we always want to protect ourselves. And if we feel something's off in our energy, we should call and affirm. And so like in the new paradigm, what I learned was that we are creators, we are manifestors, we are the powerful person that's in charge of the energies. And if we go to fear, that's the worst thing to do. If we give our power away, that's not really supportive of us, right? Your life purpose fully supports you. What you're here to do is going to fully support you. And if you're here to be a healer, or you're here to learn and grow, or to awaken your third eye, or to connect on these deeper levels, you know, you're going to want to learn those types of things of like commanding the energy and protecting yourself from the stuff that's out there. If you're a starseed, you're here to awaken and shift the collective consciousness and, you know, help people to remove obstacles from themselves and from, you know, the path ahead. And using your voice is how we do that, whether we write it or speak it, sing it or whatever. It is a good idea. When you put it into, like, I've noticed when I say something, because I'm a manifesting generator, which is another thing. I know my human design. I know my, you know, astrology. I know my life path, my numerology. Those are all things that I learned. Right? Those are like the building blocks. Those are the books that I started connecting with and understanding for me. Those are my Akashic records, right? For this lifetime. Like my name has a frequency. It's the exalted one is Bridget. And then like the number, I'm 9, so I'm here for completion and ending, and I got a lot of 9s no matter what. Like, I was born on the 18th, but if you add up all of my stuff, it's the 36th, so it's 369, and then it's like a lot of 9s. So it's like, a hermit, I'm here for the end. I'm here to be a spiritual weirdo, to go within and seek these answers. I'm a shadow walker. I know about the duality. I've been in the dark. People try to, like, fuck with you and be like, and it's like, dude, you can't. You're just like a little blip on the fucking radar, man. You can't orphan someone that enjoys being alone and has been conditioned to do so. Rejecting me won't hurt me. It's just like, great, I get a break. But that's like the essence of that. And knowing those things helps us. Knowing, like, I'm a Taurus, right? So Hierophant. But Taurus is also connected to the Empress. So, like, I can embody both of those energies, but I can also embody the Hermit. The name is connected to Saint Bridget and the goddess Bridget, and like everywhere I go I find the 4-leaf clovers, and everywhere that Bridget walked she fucking found, this one's actually a 5-leaf clover that I found this year, but everywhere that she walked, like in the little thing that I had read one time, was like everywhere that the goddess walked, clovers were said to grow behind her. And that was one of those little tiny things that's like a confirmation for you. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like, my grandmother passed that ability down to me to be able to find the 4-leaf clovers. And it was just like an instinct. It's a thing that they just stick out to me. And that's how everything is. And people don't understand that. It's like, I fucking see very clearly when something is not like the others, or something's wrong, or something shouldn't be where it is, or somebody's lying, okay? Like, those are the seeds that get planted that I'm like, you shouldn't have planted that. And I can't help it. And some people don't like that, But it doesn't matter. I'm not going to stop being who I am and stop seeing what I see and stop speaking about it just to appease the people who don't want to acknowledge it. But it can be a lonely road when you are somebody that speaks up on that. So writing and journaling can help us to get our thoughts out. It can help us to transmute stuff. It can help us to write into being. Like, I've done a lot of scripting. I even freaked myself out with scripting. Okay, like I've written things down, and the next day, word for word, exact play out has happened, and I'm like, oh, did I do that, or did they do that? But we want to have confidence too, and clarity. So, like, those are things that I've learned along the way. Like, okay, I don't want to put words into someone else's mouth. I don't want to feel like I made them be with me. Like when people do love spells, like the things that I have, like my candles or my sprays, it's not to infringe upon free will. Like, what it does is the lavender relaxes us so that we're not so anxious about wanting someone to love us or to come to us or talk to us. And the rose engulfs us in the love that we need to be feeling and engulfed within so that love can come, because like attracts like. So if we're all anxious and freaked out and we're having a hard time loving ourselves, that propels people away. So the lavender and the rose, with the intention to receive and to clear and to calm, opens up the pathway. And so many people who got the candle or the spray had, quick results. But when I'm like, he's gonna say he loves me and blah, 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 and then he does, it's like, did I do that or did he do that? And it's like, I know he didn't read it. There's no fucking way. Nobody read it. Like, it was kind of like, it freaked me out. So now I know that's another thing to be mindful of. Like, just like I'm mindful of making my candles and my sprays to not infringe on free will, I'm mindful of what I, script, like for the highest and best of all involved, so that whatever does play out, I don't freak out or feel, because you don't want that. You might think you do. People who are very desperate and obsessed with somebody might be, oh my God, I'm going to go do that. Don't do that, because 10 years down the road, say you get someone to marry you or something, you're going to start wondering, does this person really love me, or are they just here out of like something I did? I don't want people to not choose me. Even if that hurts, I want them to fucking choose me because they want to choose me, right? I want people to have the freedom to love, just like I have the freedom to love. I don't want to put someone into the fucking wall and be like, well, I'm just going to write out their script every day for them. But scripting is very powerful. There's a lot of people out there that swear by it. Like, even the Bible, there's a lot of people right now that are like saying how, like, we're in the times of Noah. And I've seen a lot of that. But I also feel like that's almost like they're using that as their playbook. They're using that to their advantage. However, it's very dumb for them to do, because we all know what the end is. And so if you have a collective knowing what the end is of a thing that they're scripting, you can't do that. Like, the only thing I can think of is like their gotcha would be like, well, these other books that we've hidden away say this. Like, something horrible. But it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, you guys are dumb. You're not going to win by trying out like this script. Like you would think you would try a different script. But even with their thing, they have a thing that lets them know what's going to happen in the future. And they've looked and they've looked and they've looked and they've looked. And no matter how they look, no matter what they just do, it doesn't end in their favor. And they know that. And so they're grasping at straws. And everything they try just fucking blows up in their face. Like, oh, let's do the COVID thing and lock everybody down. Separate everybody from each other. And guess what happened? It blew up in their face because everybody was sitting by themselves. They had fucking spiritual awakenings. And more people don't trust them anymore. You know? And again, trust your inner knowings, share your sacred feminine essence, whatever that is. The trauma and pain that you overcame now brings guidance and hope to other souls. We are here to counsel. We are here to go on our hero's journey. So what you go through in your life, you know, is going to help other people. And I just got this one again. Chanting and channeling with your voice eliminates suffering and heals blockages for yourself and others. So using your voice, using your words, using your writing, using your confidence, using your ability to see, using your ability to transmute, using your intuition in the way that you feel guided to is how we're meant to be. And we're going to trust what we feel along the way. However that is, you know, guided for you to do. But, yeah, my decks, sometimes I use them together, sometimes I don't. But if I was just going to be using this one, there's, like, I'm still, so I got, like, the anger, sadness, happiness. Like, these are black and white cards. These are just here for emotions. They may come through with, like, you know, a reading, or they may not. They don't have to come through. That's the beauty of it. They're just there as like, further confirmation if necessary. They may not. And then we have, like, the dancer. So, like, the dancer is another essence of energy of that somebody could be, right? Somebody could be a dancer, or somebody could be carrying the energy of an orphan. Somebody could be the scribe, or somebody could be a healer. It's just an essence of who they are. Somebody could be the warrior, or they could be the light worker. You know, they could be a witch or a warlock, or they could be, you know, something totally different. So then we have musician, and then like the hung or burnt, right? So with like the musician could go with the dancer. Those would make sense, right? Like the music could be very important to this person. But again, it's just these are energies that make sense together, but don't need to come out together for us to utilize them, right? And then like the witch and the warlock, it makes sense that they were burned at the stake, or that they were murdered by mob mentality. Because a lot of witches were, and that's why a lot of witches are afraid to come out in this life and to share their essence or to talk to people. Like, you know, they might have something inside of them, that calling to be a light worker in this lifetime, or they may be star seeds or ascended masters that have come back around into this world. But if in another life they were burned at the stake, or people chased them down, or they are hung, or however it was, because they were unique and different and did stuff with herbs, had tea, you know, just didn't go on the regular way of being. There was some stupid shit that they would like call people out for, just like basic run of the mill, like what? And a lot of it came down to just greed. Like if a woman husband died and left her the land and all of that, and she was like independently had a little bit of money, and somebody wanted that, they would be like, oh, she's a witch, and then they burn her and they take her land. So we can see these things can come through together to confirm and give confirmation, but they don't need to. One of them on their own could be enough to let us know, okay, you may have, you know, it's get intuitive. When I do a reading for people, I don't need to see all these things to give me that confirmation, but I know people, when I'm doing the reading, they like to see these things. It like confirm. A lot of times I say stuff, and then the card comes after. You probably would have noticed within here. I'm like, blah, blah. Like they're there as a backup. It's not a necessity, and there's no right or wrong way. But yeah, I wanted to clarify for people and let them know that there are different cards in here, like that I used, but there was no specific right or wrong way to do it. So there's the places, there's the love energy, like there's the love and like the emotions. So it's like the sadness, the, you know, anger, the love, that's like this love began another life and it will live on for more. Then there's like the shaman, which is again very much similar to those other energies of like, you know, I was a this or I was a that. I was somebody that was like I was a witch, or I was a a musician, or I was somebody that was a dancer, or I was somebody that was very independently wealthy, I was royalty, I was a fighter, or I was a peacemaker, or I'm a peacemaker in this lifetime because in my last lifetime somebody murdered me of this way, and so this time I'm nervous of that. Or I'm poor, or I was poor. And again, it can be either or. It doesn't have, like, you can look at these as this is might be something that they're dealing with today, or maybe something that they were dealing with then. And that's the thing. The same thing with these cards, right? We've got Gypsy, Astrologer, Prophet, and High Priestess, and then we have like Between the Lives, Out of Body Experience, Near Death Experience, and Past Life Review. It's like there's multitudes of things that these two cards could represent in all of them. Like there's a farmer, hunter, peasant, woodsman. So it's like one card brings through a lot of things, and there's a lot of them in here too that's like, yeah, like the abusive relationships, abused, abuser, rescuer, and enabler. Those are 4 very different things that could be embodied within that one card, and that's how all cards are, so I'm not somebody that's always like big on like the reversals. I just feel it. I don't need to have the card flip upside down for me to feel the energy that this is actually saying this for me. Like I'm picking this up. And for the most part, unless people just don't let me know, I've never really had anybody be like, what the hell, that's totally wrong, you're stupid. I'm sure it's happened, but there's people who I give them their readings. They're usually like very happy with them. They're grateful for them. They make sense to them. And even if they don't right then, there's been times that people come back and they're like, oh my God, everything that you told me, blah, 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 that happened. I can't believe this happened. I wasn't really sure what you were talking about, but then this happened, and blah, 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 blah. So I don't really worry about it. I just know that if I trust and I speak on what's coming through the cards that people want to, are asking about, what Spirit is guiding me to say, it happens. Whatever needs to happen, happens. And I'm just there to be the facilitator of it. Hold on. All right, so I broke them into a couple of piles here. I have 4 piles with like 14 and 1 pile with like 9. But I just wanted to like kind of put them into somewhat of a way of like how you could, but it's again not necessarily necessary. So here's the smallest ones. We have earth, air, fire, water. These are ways that people could have died. So they may have a fear of water or a respect of water if they've had a death by water. They could have a fear or obsession of fire if they had a death by fire. They could have a fear of asphyxiation or a respect for the power of air if they've lost their life in that way. And then a respect for the earth or a fear of the earth. They may have been in an earthquake or a landslide in another life. So those are different ways that we could have the elements at play. And then we could go deeper with the fire of actually being, hung or burnt, okay? Somebody that was hung or burnt at the stake, again, asphyxiation or burn, right? But this would be more so towards mob mentality. So I'm afraid to be myself, which it says, afraid to be myself, death by mob mentality, people who were like, witch, blah, blah, blah. And then accident. Now, in our traditional world, we obviously have cars or trucks or vans or whatever. And that may be, again, why somebody who's doing a reading might want to utilize another deck of cards just to get more energies, or just to see if there's something that backs it up. Like, all right, I saw that you were waiting at, like, get the sense of that you were, like, waiting for someone to come get you. You could have been, like, waiting. Look at this. I was going to say a train, but, like, this more feels like a bus. But, like, my first thing, you could have been waiting at a train and there was an accident while you're waiting at the train, and it's like he's at the back, But it could also be somebody was in an accident on a bus and some stranger murdered you on the bus, or the bus had an accident, or you were waiting to get on the bus and the bus blew up. Like, there's so many ways that these can, but your intuition would be the guiding factor. You don't have to have the other cards. You could just, again, go by your intuition of what you're feeling, but there's so many ways that these energies can come through. But yeah, accident could be a whole range of accidents. It doesn't have to just be a car. This is afraid to travel in a vehicle, a car, truck, or death by collision. So this could be a collision in many multitudes, however ways, what other way could you have a collision? And that's your gut that's going to tell you. And then I have ships And so even here, like sometimes I get ships as in spaceship. Sometimes I get ships in, like on a boat ship, but there's different ways that this can manifest. So afraid to travel by sea, that could be somebody that, lost their life on the Santa Maria coming over during the Columbus time. It wasn't the best way to go, people, it was dirty, it was grungy, the people starved, people cold, they got like sick from the fleas and the mice and stuff, a lot of badness. So, but in our modern day, a ship, maybe there was a ship crash with the aliens, or a different type of ship. There's different things. We have these little drones and stuff now too. And then we have the plane crash. So again, this could be different ways that this comes through. If you're afraid to travel by air, you could be even getting somebody that's like, oh, they're in a hot air balloon, or I'm seeing a drone involved, or like the whole Charlie Kirk thing. People have said that there was drones there that were like, or literally things that can shoot from the air that are unmanned. As our stuff progresses, the way that we can destroy things gets better, right? We have a lot more people that are very abusive, and they use those abilities in a myriad of ways. But you could have been a knight in another life, and you could have, had something travel through the air and hit you, like those things that they used to shoot, right? If you were defensive, you're out there, you get hit by something, like those catapults. There's catapults, but there's also like cannons and all that. And then look at earth disaster. And so that's why, like, when I do a past life reading, a lot of times I like to use more than just one deck that has past life energy, because it confirms for me, like, oh yeah, look at it. So like if I had my earth card come out and then I had this one come out, that's going to confirm to me, oh yeah, it was definitely the earth. Maybe there's a building collapse or an earthquake or an animal attack or drought. And I do have a card in here too, specifically, that talks about, like, maybe there was some sort, oh, like right here, there may have been some sort of passing that involved animals. So you may have a close connection with animals, or you may have lived as an animal or had trauma with an animal in another life. You may want to embrace your gift, or be a vet, or someone that does animal communication, or it could literally be that you're attacked by an animal. Look at that, there's the fucking hot air balloon. Maybe you were in a hot air balloon and crashed down because the military shot one of their cannons. I swear to God, I didn't know these are there. I swear to God, the only card that I was looking at from here, I have two separate piles. Look, there's two separate piles here. He was on top, she was on top. That was it. That was it. Okay? But like underneath there was the earth disaster. Underneath there was the adventurer. Okay? So like, it's like I know what's here without looking. It's weird. And like destruction, I had the destruction. Okay? But like, I'm just making it up as I go. Like, but that's how it should feel too. It's like we're like we don't know because it's not us, but we just get stuff. We just receive from spirit, and you just gotta trust what you receive. And the more that you do, the easier. Look at air disaster now, and there is I did a reading recently for like the Patreon people, and it was weird, or I don't know if it was on. It was like making a statement though, because it was like earth, air, fire, water. Like every single one of these that are in that deck, it came through like back to back to back to back. And I was like, I'm like, that's crazy, because there was like, yeah, there could be an air disaster, earth disaster, water disaster, frozen disaster, but like all of the disasters that there is in the deck came through back to back. But I was specifically like talking about something that it made sense for. And I was like, oh my God, look at that. Like, they're like backing me up here, which is what happens. And we have childhood trauma. And so, yeah, look at that murder. You may have been murdered as a child. Or there could have been something unhappy back then, right? Look at murder. So over here, this is the last one from this deck, where it's like, afraid of conflict. You may be a peacemaker in this life. Someone took your life too soon. Okay, so if you were murdered in another life, you may be a peacemaker in this life, and you may have died in some, way that's like not that good. It wasn't that great. It wasn't a good time to be, you. And if so, you may come into this lifetime that has trauma, right, around being an orphan, or trauma around like, your inner child. Okay, so like I have inner child, which like passed as a child or had major trauma, you need to allow yourself to laugh and play. Or could have been around orphanage, where you may never feel like you belong. You could be the black sheep, and you need to find home within your self-acceptance. And then we have young at heart. So again, if you were taken too soon, you may always be young at heart, never grows up, fun, goofy, immature, and you could have passed on at a young age with natural causes or through unnatural causes. Depends. And on the opposite end of that, we've got the old soul. And so because sometimes when we pass away in another life, when you come into this life as a child, you carry a lot of that with you into this life. And a lot of children are more connected. They have more memories. They're more able to tell you who they were and where they were and see stuff that we don't. But some of these children that have multitudes of lives have a very old soul, even though they may have died very young, or they've had a lot of things that have happened. They could be full of wisdom. Somebody that has a lot of depth and not much of a childhood, they may grow up very quickly, and they may have lived many lives, and or they could have passed very old in another life. So maybe they lived one really long life. So it's like, you ever see those kids that come through, they look like an old angry man, like the minute they come out of the womb, they're like, why am I here? Like those are old souls. But there's a myriad of reasons why that might be. You can't just like clump them all into one category. And then we have ocean soul, again, which is somebody that's maybe lived a life in the sea or on the sea. It has a strong connection to the ocean and to the sea life, and you want to listen to the ocean. So for myself, ever since I was little, I've always been like, I'm not going to eat anything. I felt weird about eating out of the ocean. I've always loved, like the first time I saw dolphins, I cried. I just have like a deeper connection to the ocean and to water, even though I've also had traumatic stuff and like those weird like dreams and things. There's that respect, there's that knowing that like that can definitely kill me, but there's also like, I respect it. I don't want to like eat my friends, and there's just a weird like thing there that I can't really always put into words. And like the dolphins and the whales, they feel like better beings than the humans that are on the planet with us. And we already talked about the witch and the warlock being, afraid to express yourself. And then we have the shamans who carry the ancient wisdom teachings. And they have a close connection to earth, and they need to connect with Pachamama. So you might have a calling to, like, a lot of these people are going to be like, oh, you might be schizophrenic or bipolar, blah, 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 blah. Those are the ones that become the medicine men and women. They're, like, honored, given, like, a nice home. Everybody goes to them because they're the ones that see the things that other people don't see. They feel stuff that other people don't feel. And people here are like, oh, we got to give you medicine. Something's wrong with you. But over there, they're like, well, thank you, Mr. fucking Shaman Man or Mrs. Shaman Lady that's helping us to see the witch doctor. They're not crazy. They're just tapped into something that you're not. And that's why I've always said, a lot of the people, when they put you on like antidepressants, those people get way worse. Like, it doesn't help. It turns things off, or it like does something in a way that's like, and then they end up hurting themselves or disconnected in a way that's not supportive at all. And there's been so many like negativities that get connected in our society that in other societies are honored and respected and acknowledged for what the hell they are. There's nothing wrong with you. You may just be somebody that's a deep thinker, somebody that's got intellectual energies that's on a different level from all these other people here. And it'll get water disaster. Okay? So tsunami, tropical storm, lost at sea, drowned, or flood. There's a philosopher, innovator, scientist, mathematician. Like, there's so many different things. So the light worker is somebody that's a natural, awakening, healing, gifted lover. You might have a galactic past life or ascended master lives. Starseed soul. These might go hand in hand. Usually somebody that's a starseed soul would be also a light worker. And so you signed up for this as a starseed. You came here to heal through the major obstacles and to rise up through healing and descending. And you're anchoring high vibrational energy onto the earth as a starseed. And doobity-bop. Let's see what else. I did the ocean soul. I did the old soul. I did the young at heart. I did the orphan. So for the inner child orphan, right? You also have big family. That's on the opposite end. So you might have abundance of family and friends. It could be a soul family or actual, like your 3D blood family. But you're here to stand on your own and become a leader. And then we have poor. So you may be struggling to manifest. It could be lack and difficult upbringing. We get to leave lack mentality behind. So if in another life you really struggled to be, wealthy or whatever, independently, whatever, get your monies, could have been very poor, that can carry into this lifetime. So that might be a lesson to leave those old ways behind. And on the other side of that is the wealthy, which is you're manifesting abundance easily. You were born for luxury, but you've got to share the wealth. You make sure you don't hoard it and get a weirdo. So royalty is royal, regal presence. So we want to work on being humble and grateful for what you have, and tap back into that royal, regal energy, that powerful man. Like especially if you're poor, these are things you want to become, to embody, so that you can come out of that energy, you know. Or if you're somebody that feels isolated, like the black sheep, you know, all alone, you want to, you know, connect and allow yourself to come out of that like isolation, or feeling like I'm not good enough. You can accept yourself, love yourself, laugh and play like that inner child, you know, heal from whatever thing went on. Enjoy yourself so that you can connect with like your soul family, or the people that you're going to have a family with. And then we have the galactic war. So a longing for home, sensing that home doesn't exist with karma, that's going to tie into that royal energy as well, because a lot of the beings that were here during like the galactic war, when Orion and Lyra had a battle, Lyra was destroyed. So a lot of the Lyran souls, you know, they came here, they were here for ancient Egypt, but there's like a sense of I don't have a home, but you truly do, because if you go further enough back, because it's not linear like we are, it's just like further away. Instead of it being like on a straight line, it's like things get further away, but it's like they're still existing. There's still a timeline. There's still a place where that was existing. It didn't get destroyed, so you can tap back into that essence of that place. But those souls will feel that sense of like, I don't really feel like I have a home. Like you might struggle to figure out, like you might resonate with the term of starseed or light worker, or something like that. But when it comes to like picking one of, you may have a hard time. But that can also be because we can carry more than one. We can be like a Sirian, Pleiadian, Arcturian, Andromedan. You may carry multitudes of star energies inside of you. Again, everybody's different. There's no right or wrong. And then with the unknown, this is like that can be tapped into that energy as well. It's like it's kind of unknown. Like you may have lived so many lives, or you may be influenced by so much unhealed karma, or you may have been through so much trauma in this lifetime that it's like there's an unknown essence to it. So it's like adaptable, shape-shifting, mutable, changeable. So that means you can maybe shape-shift into, you know, more of one of the others. Like I've noticed with myself, sometimes this time of the year I'm more in this energy, and this time of the year I'm more in that energy. And it's like an adaptable thing, and that can be good or bad depending on you and what your focus is, right? And we have twin flame, which is like a chaser-runner dynamic, an imbalanced relationship. There could be karma, attachments, and love languages that need to be acknowledged. And then we've got karmic relationship, which could be a narcissistic, detached, unhealthy love. Staying stuck in a lower vibration is unhealthy. You want to get out of those now, or just heal whatever karma is there so that you can get to a place of a balanced, healthy relationship. And we have soulmate love, which is more of an effortless love. It is a partnership. But they can have codependencies, so we want to make, because if you have any karma that you have not healed on your own, it's going to manifest whether you're with a soulmate, a twin flame, or whoever. So we always want to make sure that we're working on ourselves, getting out of those lower vibrations, and figuring out where we stuck. But this can only go so far. Heal and grow. And then marriage, always in a relationship, codependent, needing a lover, and that's again a call to stand in your power on your own. If you're constantly like, I want someone, I need someone, it's not a good energy to be going into. That's that karma we need to face so that we can stand on our own and manifest a partnership that's not both. And we have lover. So seeking out your divine counterpart, your long lost love. This one has like a better energy to it. It's like this is somebody that's probably just like, you've done the work, you've healed yourself, you're good. You know, you're ready to find your marriage. You're ready to find that person. You don't have all that much work to. So if like you got marriage and lover out, I might feel like this person doesn't need to really stand in there. Like you've been standing in your power on your own. You're doing good. You might be manifesting your lover any day now. That's going to be like an easy soulmate, somebody that you just get along with because you've done the work, and now you're ready, you know, to find a love that began another life and it's going to live on for more. You know, an intense passion could be burning. Or again, that could come through in other ways too. Like you might have an intense passion with somebody that's not good for you, and you're working on healing that. And single, always alone with breakups and attracting Mr. or Mrs. Wrong. You've got to open your heart to love instead of opening your heart to, you know, bad or like resentment. So resentment says, release resentment from your past life trauma. So that could be something you have from a past life, or that could be something you have from this life. It just depends on how it's manifesting. And then anger, harboring anger from a previous life. Sadness, resounding sadness, originates in another life. And then the opposite side of that is happiness. So you can have the happiness that's, or contentment that has been passed on from another life. So if it's like you might have already been through a lot, and so there's like this inner peace within you that you already carry, or joy that you already carry, because you know, like, some of the stuff here is just bullshit. You don't really have to give your power away to it or let it take over. So yeah, peace. You find peace because you've done this before. So if you've been here before, you've done it before. Sometimes it's easier for those people to get more happy, or to not let the sadness overtake them, or to not let their anger, their resentment become all that they know, because they may have already lived that. They know what that gets them is not anything good. And so they let their love carry on, and they don't take anything too seriously. They may be young at the heart, but also an old soul with a lot of wisdom. And that's what happens, is a balance between things. Is the more that you grow, the more you learn, the more you heal, the higher elevated you become with your learning. And then so we talked about those. And then with, like, here I have Asia, ancient Greece, ancient Rome. And again, I just put ones in there that felt guided to. You know, you could look at these and get something else from it. Like, you could, like, these guys, sometimes I get the energy of, like, different people, like Hermes, you know, or Apollo, or whatever, whoever. Like, there could be different Greek, Rome gods that could come through, but it could be because of the essence of the energy of the dude. Like, you don't have to necessarily pay attention to where it is. You could just pay attention to the frequency of the card. And then we have Asia, right? You have Asia, Tibet, India. A lot of the people who left from Atlantis, when they left Atlantis, some ended up in Egypt, some ended up in Tibet, some ended up in other areas, some went into the high mountains, some went here, there, and everywhere. It just depends on where they went. But you may get, you know, a totally different message from these cards. Like with this, you might get somebody that needs to work on, like, connecting with sound healing. Maybe this person's a sound healer. They're meant to work with sound, you know, or somebody that is royal, you know, like they're meant to be in like a big place like this. And then we have Iceland and Ireland in the islands. So a lot of times these ones will come through together, and it's almost like, yeah, they almost confirm, like, the Atlantis. Like, yeah, you definitely were on an island. Oh yeah. And like, there's like a magical, like, mystical energy, or you may just resonate very strongly with the fae and like the gnomes and this and that, you know, magical beings and magical places. There's just a sense there, right? And I have South America and America, North and South America. I also have Peru with the rainforest, because I definitely have like a deep connection there. Africa, the desert. Again, these could be places that confirm each other. Ancient Egypt would confirm the desert. And again, it's intuitive. You may get the desert and feel something totally different. Like, you may feel like an orphan. You may feel isolated. There may be something that you feel like you're missing out. But with ancient Egypt, it says, left Atlantis to teach in the mystery schools. As a high priest or a priestess, you have lost wisdom inside of you that you want to gain, you know, go back within and find. And then for Atlantis, we have a fear of catastrophe, of respect for the ocean, an awareness of all the power struggles, and you're here to heal from the fall. So you're here to make sure that we don't repeat what we've already done before. We want to make sure that we don't repeat history. And we have Traveler, so sometimes the Traveler could come through with, you know, any one of these other cards, and you could be like, you might have traveled to that place in another life, or you're meant to travel to that place in this life to regain some intellect from that lifetime. Maybe there's messages or something that you're missing that you need to gain from your lifetime in blah 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 America. Okay, so always on the move, call to explore the world. There may be a need for someone to settle down, or the opposite, there may be a need to explore. And we have music or musician, love of music, beautiful voice with rhythm you can channel with your voice. And we have dancer, a natural rhythm with a movement of expression with your body, so you want to dance and move. You're probably an energy healer on that level. And then a scribe is somebody that's a natural ability to express through writing. Automatic writing will bring you answers. Healer is a doctor, nurse, etc. A natural instinct to heal with your hands and your wisdom. and to heal yourself too. And warrior is a fighter of wars and battles. You're always on defense. You're fighting for beliefs, and there may be imbalances that remain from the galactic war or other wars that you've battled in other lives, and that can, carry into this life, that you want to make sure you're not like trying to battle everybody. And we have dark entities, so fighting the natural urge to embrace the darkness. Your last life may have been in duality of the light, so in this life you could be a light worker that's here to make up for the role of being, not so good in the last. Or you may have been here during Atlantis fall. You may have been one of the people that was abusing your power, and you're here to right the wrongs of that, and to remember those mystery teachings, and to utilize them in the right way this time. We also have prisoner, need for freedom or seclusion, and you may see through the control systems of Earth. Again, maybe somebody that's very capable and aware of things that are just not right. And then a slave, a freedom fighter for protecting the injustice. And Earth is a slave system, and you can't settle in a job or relationship, or you stay too long. So same thing with this. It's like sometimes we stay too long as a prisoner. Like if we're somebody that was a prisoner before, we may stay too long in places in this life that are not comfortable. Or we may have like a aversion to staying anywhere for too long at all, or letting anybody too close to us, because it could have really been treated badly, especially like this, right? You may have been a warrior against the dark entities, in this thing or that thing or whatever. And so that could also make you be like, I just don't want to be imprisoned or taken as a slave. I'm going to protect myself and stay away from everybody all the time. You'll pick it up through the feeling of the people. And again, peacemaker and fighter, they're the duality of each other. Aggressive, ready to fight, or avoiding conflict, afraid of physical conflict. This person was murdered by somebody that was physically aggressive, and this person was somebody that was the aggressor. But these things they're just like they say, like, it's not gender specific, it's not murder specific, it's not place specific, it's not anything specific. It's just what feels right in the moment, and how it feels right in the moment. And again, they can just all be in there together, and whatever comes through comes through. We get the desert that just came through with the passion. So this could be somebody that feels like, I've got all this passion burning, or I've really missed having passion in my life. I've been single for so long, but every time I connect with somebody, I attract Mr. Wrong or Mr. Right. So I've been in the African desert in the heat and by myself, feeling like, what the hell? I can't breathe. I can barely breathe. I don't know what to do. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to speak my truth. I'm afraid to open up. But this fire is just like ignited in me. And I would like to have somebody to have as a marriage and someone to spend my life with. But I'm holding all this resentment and all this anger. I feel like a warrior when it comes to my life, or when it comes to love and connecting with other people. And yeah, everybody I've met has been a karmic relationship. They've been assholes. There's been a lot of dark entities. So I've been putting myself out on the island far away from the other people, because I'm better out there connecting with the ocean, connecting with the emotion, connecting with something that understands me on a deeper level. And I just want someone that's actually going to love me and truly honor me, and somebody I can be happy with. But in order for me to find that, I got to find peace with where I've been and what I've come through, and gain that wisdom that comes from healing. So it's maybe a person that needs to heal themselves in this lifetime, so that they don't have to, shipwreck them out into a middle of nowhere to avoid everybody and everything, and just connect to the ocean because it's safer, right? It's time to go into the depths of the rainforest and really breathe and allow yourself to open up to the effortless love by loving yourself unconditionally. And with Iceland, this is a beautiful place too. There may be things that are in this world that you haven't allowed yourself to see, or the beauty of relation. Look at the beauty. There may be beauty that you haven't allowed yourself to see around things because of other people that have hurt you. So don't let one person destroy everybody for you, or the ability to see the beauty in other places, by deserting yourself in one. Don't look at it as a mirage, because if you look at it, oh, that must be fake, that can't be real, everybody's going to be bad, that's what you'll create. You'll keep yourself on that island of separation and seclusion where everything's just too good to be true, and that doesn't have to be the case. You can bring light to your life. You can manifest and get on your ship and go towards where you're meant to go. Ignite your fire, ignite your passion, and have something that's worth having, that's lasting. That doesn't mean you're on a ball and chain. It doesn't mean that you're, gonna be murdered or hurt or taken advantage of. But you gotta let go of anybody or anything that has caused this resentment in you. Maybe dancing, or actual movement of your body. will help you to start to breathe again and help you to get out of up here. Yeah, frequency, music healing, like sound healing, shaking your body. Like sometimes we have stuff stuck in us. So I can't think of the specific word for it for some reason. It's like somatic healing. Somatic healing may help you to no longer be the warrior or the fighter or the warrior up here, right? So that you can find the true person that you're meant to be and have peace with everything that you do and travel to where you would like to actually go, to the true love that like is beautiful and uplifting and something that feels nice. So yeah, those are just quick little examples of how we can do what we do, but it doesn't have to be like, you know, there's no right or wrong ever with my decks. Okay, so try not to limit yourself in that way. Even like just that, look, High Priest. Okay, so the High Priest is the masculine counterpart to the High Priestess, Wisdom Keeper of Records, Akashic Records, masculine balance and rising. We kept seeing again and again, oh, you might be, look, yes, this is your highest and best. Your highest and best thing to do is to connect to the Akashic Records, to write things down, to go within. Look at Cosmic Ocean here again. Travel to the deeper depths through your shadow to transmute whatever's going on inside of your head. You can say no, cut cords, release the guilt. That is for your highest and best, for you to put up boundaries and protect yourself, but you don't have to segregate yourself away from everybody and everything. It is safe for you to allow yourself to receive. It is safe for you to open a new beginning, a new cycle, where you attract your true soul family, the people that are going to be here to awaken yourself and to awaken those soul contracts with people that understand you, that get it on a deeper level. It's not everybody's going to be karmic, not everybody's going to be toxic, not everybody is going to be, you know, what you've already dealt with, especially when you change who you've been. So again, past life, crystal master, Atlantis energy, you most likely have been here for that time of Atlantis that came through a lot. And your soul family or your counterpart, the person that's going to be the one that either gives you growth and power, or the one that will be there as your high priest for your growth and power, to empower you, to give you growth, to connect to that wisdom of the whales, the infinite wisdom that's available to us through the cosmic ocean and the portals of infinite, you know, oneness, bringing that duality into unity in an infinite way. As the high priestess is out there for you, but you've got to trust it and know it and feel it and start vibing at your highest quotient of light. But it's like these energies are definitely like, oh yeah, that person, that's your high priest or your soul family, they're meant to be with, they're on the other side of wherever you've been. If you're over here, we're gonna flip it and get over here, right? Like we're gonna like go through the flippity flip. We're going to bring two things together into one. Like, yes, there's bad, but there's also good. So allow yourself to receive, because the energy is available for you to receive. Everything that you need is here. The sun, again, will bring you growth in the power. Gaia needs you at this time or you would not be here. So trust and know and pay attention to the synchronicity. You are being, you know, pushed forward to where you're meant to go, and ask Spirit to help you. Ask Spirit to show you as you go. And like, again, sun and moon is the feminine and masculine. The high priest and high priestess is the sun, is the feminine and masculine. So divine feminine cycles of rebirth, you're coming into a time of growth and power by embracing both of these energies and bringing them into oneness and unity. That is what you're here to do with your soul family. You are here to heal yourself and then others as the high priest and priestess. So you embody both of these, and as you work on both sides of that and unify both sides of that, you will come into unity within the duality. And that's up to you. And again, like I said, you're the high priestess. You got the high priest out there somewhere for you, or vice versa, whoever you are. But just know that you're making waves wherever you go, and you may be separated from who you're meant to be at this moment, or where you're meant to be at this moment, or who you're supposed to connect with at this moment. But keep planting seeds of potential in every place that you go and every person that you meet, and eventually you'll get to where you're supposed to be. Yeah, look at 212. So this is my divine time oracle, and this is awakening partnership, manifesting thoughts, progression of love. So your lover is out there. The place that you're supposed to be is out there. They're saying, what are you waiting for? Open the door. There's opportunities for you to receive what you're ready for, but you got to get over your fear. Whatever you've been afraid of, let that consciousness shift, change your mind. Stop and look around. All you want will be found. So it's like everything that you want is already here. The delays will make us stronger along the way, but the delays are coming from within ourselves when we're afraid, when we're, nervous that, oh my God, or we're impatient and counting minutes adds the digits. So any day now, expect to be wow. So if you've been in complacency and you're like, it's just never going to work out for me, everybody's going to be bad, that's all you're going to see. And the years will come and go, and you'll be able to, you'll last through all of that, but you don't have to. You can manifest quicker, faster, infinite strength, having abundance and blessings come today, but that's up to the way that you're looking at it. So tomorrow, if yesterday came, tomorrow will too. It's time for you to decide what you will do. So you get to decide, am I going to focus on the fear? Am I going to focus on the lack? Am I going to pretend like there's nothing available to me? Am I going to try to be positive for a couple of days? When it doesn't go my way, instantaneously get weak and not even give it a week? Or am I going to open the door and be ready for more and start manifesting through the progression of thoughts and through the affirmations, through the scripting, and through attracting what I want? And then a few months away will be the big day. All of those good things will be coming my way because I will be having my soulmate, my divine partnership, or at least just be in alignment with myself within. So create and inspire to set your life on fire. You're the artist of your life, and decades will come and go if you don't choose to grow either way. So it's like you get to choose to grow, you get to choose to be the creator, the manifester of whatever it is that you would like to see by embracing this energy. Approach logic creatively, calm the raging sea, and become stress-free. This is, again, a balance of masculine and feminine. Creativity is the feminine, the logic is the masculine. Bringing those two things together is bridging those two worlds, and it's time for that change, and it won't be strange. When you embrace both sides, you will bring 777, the unconditional love. You'll be applauded by the starseed codes. So, again, it's up to you to bring those two things together within yourself, and just like that, you'll have the true love. Just like that, things will be good. In both realms for yourself. And for some of you, it could be people that you miss or someone that you've already connected with that you're nostalgic about, or there could just be like a nostalgia within you because there's true love out there that you've been waiting or wanting for. So expect the upgrade within the decade. You're going to the next level in divine time. Things will align as long as you allow yourself to pay attention to the union within, pay attention to the awakening that's happening, pay attention to the signs and the synchronicity. And this is your true twin flame. Do you not see what? Remember why you came? Remember your story and why you came? So we're here to shift timelines into wholeness and completion. We're here for expansion, to see the results. We are here to awaken the infinite. And we're here for something bigger than ourselves. And that requires a little bit of internal healing and working and overcoming the things that we've been dealing with. But as you navigate, you'll figure it out. Self-control, okay? Start learning how to self-control. Start learning how to overcome your doubt. Stop feeling stupid and silly. If somebody provoked you and you're holding on to resentment or whatever, or you put big expectations on yourself, or you're assuming everybody else is expecting more from you than is regularly it's just too much. Stop putting those expectations on yourself. Stop holding on to the rage and the anger. Let go of the anxiety. Let go of the stress. Allow yourself to just be peaceful. Allow yourself to be the balance of the things that you're hoping to seek from someone else, and be confident. The more confident you are, the more others are going to want you. The more they're going to have to embody their self-control to not just come freak out because of how magnetically aligned you become to other people's attraction towards you. Yeah, your star. Wishes are coming true for you. It's a turning point in your honor roll. There's a new cycle available, and there's a work balance, a union of assets, and beneficial connections with the Two of Cups. So things can work out for people at this time if you just see yourself in that energy. A new idea, pursuing something new. Ten of Pentacles is like long-term. This is amazing. Ultimate fulfillment. Happily ever after, the jackpot, the dreams come true. This is the justice of balancing the feminine and masculine. So it's like all of these energies are like, wow, it's amazing. It just comes from the balancing. And that whole deck shows that. It's like, well, you were over here, so now you need to go over here. If we've been there, we'll do this. All right, Hierophant, we're going to learn those lessons. We're going to have something inside of us that's good for us. Our values, our integrity, our financial advisory, vocation training helps us to rise up into where we're meant to be. Turning for the better, on the right track, the best possible outcome. So hopefully this serves you. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3. In Renee, namaste.